Hi, my name is Stephen Meeker, and this video is all about how can you start doing your own sprouts, making your own sprouts. Making sprouts are super easy. It's sustainable. If the entire world was basically down under, sprouts are one of the most things that you can still survive from at the end of the day. Yeah, sprouts. It's just so important to understand sprouts, to use sprouts, to get used to sprouts, because at the end of the day it's a lifesaver. It has all the nutrients that you need in the sprouts. At the end of the day, the only thing you really need is sprouts. You can't eat the same sprouts all the time every day for months and months on end, obviously. So you have to be changing them up and so forth. But learning to use and eat sprouts, I think, is essential to life. It's very important if you want to stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. So let me go ahead and get into this right here. First of all, you take, for example, a small cup like this. This is just one example of what I want to show you. And you take a mason jar, whatever size you want, it doesn't make any difference. So for this cup size right here, I put sweet lupines inside of there. And because the cup is this size, I need a big jar, because the sweet lupines, they grow and they get very big, and they need a lot of room to grow. So that little bit that come out of this cup right here, it gets to be a lot. So you really get a lot of bang for your buck with a very small amount of sweet lupines. So that's very important to know. So what do? You take this cup, you pour it in there, the dry sweet lupines, you fill this up with water, you let it sit overnight, so for 8 hours or 8 plus minus, whatever, and then you just pour out all the water, get out all of the water. And to pour out all the water, all you have to do is get a mason jar or whatever, get one of your store-bought things like this, little sift right here, you just turn it around like this, then all of the water comes out. And you can see here all the water has already been drained out of that, so that is a very good thing. And if you don't like these things, then if you have a screen door, if you've ever heard of a screen door before, the screen, and you just put that on there, just take a rubber band, you put that on there, and you just turn it around and do the same thing, and you know, whatever floats your boat, it doesn't make any difference. So what I'm saying with this, you don't have to have complicated things or anything like that. You don't have to buy all of these super duper things in order to make sprouts. That's not necessary. I'm going to show you, this is the lower end of the scale of what you can do, and I'll show you something on the higher end of the scale of what you can do as well. It's called the easy green. So I think that's pretty clear with that right here, with the sweet lupine sprouts. But before I do that, let me walk back one step. I would go into diatomaceous earth, because why eat sprouts and all of these things like that? Or it's not going to be really sustainable if you don't really get rid of your parasites and clean your body and so forth. So that makes sense, right? Because the parasites in your body, they control what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and so forth. Obviously, everybody knows that. So if that's true, then why not get rid of them so that you can create new senses in your body, so you don't have all these cravings all the times for sugar and for fatty stuff and for meats and all these things that are creating decay in your body. But the parasites don't care, because that's what they thrive off of. I don't know if you've seen any videos. I have one down here as well, that I made a couple of weeks ago with diatomaceous earth. So in Germany it's called Kieselguhr. This is food grade Kieselguhr. I'm living in Germany, so obviously it's called Kieselguhr. In America it would be called diatomaceous earth. If you want to order it, you can see the link down here, where I've got a couple of sources for Germany and for the USA and so forth, where you can just order this at your perusal. Yes. So I'd go for that first of all, obviously, because otherwise you're going to fall back into your old habits really easy. Does that make sense? Okay. So the next level, what I would say, is say, okay, all right, I'm getting into these sprouts right here, and I'm really having a lot of fun with that, but I don't really have time to be taking care of them all the time. So if that's the case, then you could go down this avenue. So here are some trays right here. This is called rosenclay right here, rosenclay. And you can see how that has really grown right there. Rosenclay, it's called rosenclay in Germany. So that looks really good. So you don't want them to get too big because the nutrients in there, and the optimal is when they get so around about this height. You don't want them to get big because basically otherwise they start taking all the nutrients out and it's not as effective as at the beginning. So that's right there. That's rosenclay right there. Let me take you around here to show you this machine. This is a really bad mofo. And this is the so-called easy green. There you go. That's what it looks like. It's an amazing thing. Here's the timer. So you just set the timer and it just goes by itself. So you just set it on there and it goes around the clock, around the hour. And you just fill the tank up right here. Here's a fill nozzle right there, and it fills up right there. That's basically it. It's very, very simple and easy to use. It's but of course, if you're not into the sprouts yet, then it doesn't make that much sense to do something like this. And then you have in the back, you have a little filter on the top right here. You see here is a little filter to filter out all of the. Doesn't come off. Okay. Then on the side where you see right here, you see this hose coming through, going down here, and to the ground here. If you see that, basically what that does is all of the runoff from the sprout maker runs through this tube into another jar, so that you don't have the bad water, so to speak, inside of the sprout maker. Let me see here. So that's what it looks like in the front. And let's see here. It's probably a better way I could have done this, but anyway, here we go. And then you have a little lid that goes through there. It protects them. Take that back off. Then all of your sprouts are inside of there, and you just slide those out. And I put the names on the different sprouts as well on here, because I always forget which is which, and I want to learn over time. And I've bought a lot of different types of sprouts, so I want to over time find out which sprouts I like the most. And if I don't write the names of the sprouts on there, like this one right here is the Boxhorn clay. You can see this one, I've just put that in just 2 days ago. What is that, 3 days ago? Could it be 3 days ago? You can see they're starting to grow now. Yeah, you can see that. That's the Boxhorn clay. I always put a heart on there because love changes the molecule structure of the water, and otherwise it can't hurt anyway. So there's a lot of literature on that as well, so it can't hurt to write a heart on there. So that's that. That's the Boxhorn clay. The rosenclay clay I already showed you. This right here is the Senf, also mustard seed. And here's a biggie. When I bought this at the beginning, I always thought this right here, it looks like mildew and so forth. It looks like not mildew. It looks like it's, you know, it looks pretty nasty. That it's, you know, there's some fungus growing on there. But actually, it's not. I put a whole bunch. I put actually too many seeds in here, and so these are the seed structure of the mustard seeds. You see that? That's the seed structure of the mustard seeds. So I thought that was really, they were ruined, but they're actually not. Yeah. So that's what they look like right there. That's basically it. I don't know if you can see that very well. Yeah. So very interesting. It took me a long time to understand that. So of course it's very easy to get mildew. If you're not really taking care of your stuff, then mildew will come in pretty quickly. Here we have rucola. And so this is a really nice height. This is a very nice height to eat them actually. They're not too big, you see that? It's a really nice height to enjoy the rucola. Rucola makes a beautiful salad, and here you have the nutrients, most nutrient dense type of food you can get right here with the sprouts. And last but not least, this is one of the older ones. As you can see, they're too long actually already. They're still okay. I don't know what this is because I didn't write it on here. I've been experimenting too much, so I don't know what's always going on, but that's one of my biggest points of the video as well. You don't have to know everything. All you have to do is do it, and over time you will get better over time. For example, with my sprout maker right here, with this sprout maker, I didn't understand how that worked either, and I didn't understand what this lid was for. And so it laid on the side for a while, and I didn't understand that you need to close the front of the sprout maker with this lid, you know, with the holes and so forth. And I didn't understand what this was for, and I didn't understand you have to clean it regularly as well, because as you see, it gets dirty over time. You see that? It gets dirty over time, so you got to clean this out all the time and keep it nice and clean. And one of the things that I like to clean the sprout maker with, because of course you have to clean it every couple of weeks, is essig. What is essig called in vinegar? Yeah, I've been in Germany for so long you forget the names of the things. I don't know if you've been in Germany before, if you've spoken another language for a long time, even though you come from that country, some words, because you think about it and talk about everything else all the time, you forget some words in the moment. So vinegar. So I take vinegar and use that to clean it up, because you know, it kills the bacteria and so forth. You don't want no kind of fungus growing in your stuff, obviously, because it's very important to keep it nice and hygienic, to keep this clean. I just seen this needs to be clean again. So it looks pretty good, but this will definitely have to be clean today. So that's that right there. So we got a lot covered. Last but second but least, here we have another type of sprout maker. This is a pretty easy thing right here. It's different things. The water runs down into this right here, and there's different levels where you can put the sprouts in, and the water drains through here. Yeah. The only thing is, with these kind of things, you can't make the seeds too small. Some seeds will go through the things right here, so that doesn't work very well. Yeah. And of course, you put water on the top once in the morning, once in the evening. The same thing like with the sweet lupines. You have to water them twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, and drain off all the water so that's not sitting in the water. And the water that drains off in the bottom of this, I always dump it out, because like I said, you don't want any kind of decay or rot, especially not with sprouts, because you want to be healthy. Last but not least, here we go. Wheatgrass. As you can see, this is a little bit, it's gotten too large because I've been eating too many other things, yeah? So this is gonna have to be taken off, and what you can do is you can juice this, or if you don't have a juicer, you don't have to wait until you get all kinds of fancy stuff. You can just take a little bit like this, chew it, chew all the juice out of the wheatgrass. I'm not gonna do this right now because it's just disrespectful. You know, don't talk with your mouth full. And you chew this until all of the juice is out of it, and then spit out the rest. That's basically it. And that's a really simple, fast type of way to do the juicing. You can see how the roots are working on this. This is pretty fresh. And I got a couple of other of these as well. So wheatgrass is also one of those superfoods. So that's basically it. That was my review for if you're just starting out, or if you just want another refresher, or maybe you need a motivation to start doing sprouts again, or whatever, or maybe some simple tips how to do things very simply, economically. The only thing is, with this big machine, you don't have to go that far. That's not really necessary. But the reason I got this long term is that I can stay on the ball, so I don't have no excuses not to be eating my sprouts, no matter how much work I have to do or how hectic life becomes or anything like that. Because I mean, if you can't even fill up these trays with some seeds, then you don't really mean it anyway. And the same thing goes with this. I mean, if you just, you know, water this twice a day and eat these, it's not a lot of work. It really is not a lot of work. And then I would just suggest start with just one jar. That's basically it. Start with a jar, and that's basically it. And work with that for a while. Work with that. You know, don't do a lot of things. Don't do too many things at one time. I just wanted to, yeah, entice you a little bit with a lot of different things. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you wanted to get any of the products that I showed you, the link for that is down below in the description. And if you have any questions, some comments, some suggestions or anything like that, I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, one of my biggest dreams is to be just self-sustainable with everything, and things like that really help you become like that, you know, so you're not dependent on everything around you. I think that's a very, very important thing. Thank you for staying in tuned. If you like this video, if you like the quality of the video and so forth, if you want to hear more of this, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, suggest to other people, friends and so forth about this video, about how to do the sprouts and how to live a, yeah, self-sustained life. Thank you. Thank you very much. All the best. Peace and love. Your Stephen Meeker. Bye-bye.